Welcome to the Academic Success Crash Course series presented by the Office of Academic Skills at Washington College. Today's video is Managing Distractions, and we will go into detail about how to manage new and ongoing distractions through anticipating them and flexibility. The first tip is to find your spot. Finding a place with minimal distractions is no easy task, but it is important. There's more on this topic in the Staying Organized crash course, but here are a few tips. Think about your location and where you're likely to stay on task. Will it help to have other people around you, or will you do better in a more isolated space? If you can't get your own space to work in, can you build a barrier around yourself with books and binders to create a carrel like we have in the library, and then use headphones to block out noise from the rest of your home? If your best option is your bedroom, organize a corner that is dedicated to school and make it feel as distinct as possible, like a room within a room. If your space needs to move depending on the time of day, the needs of others in your family, distractions, or access to the Wi-Fi, have a school to-go box. All of your books, your notes, post-its, pens, highlighters, keep it all organized. Your backpack might be enough, but make sure you have everything you need in it so you're not wasting time or getting distracted by having to go to find a pen or your flashcards or your laptop charger or the Wi-Fi hotspot or whatever you need. Couldn't hurt to throw in some snacks too. Maintain a routine. A routine helps us establish normalcy and feel a little more sense of control in a time when we don't feel like we have as much control or when we don't have as much control over our space, which is a huge distraction. Make sure you acknowledge what you can't work around. Normally, this is something like class time, a regular meeting you have every week, sports practice, but now it might also include something like younger siblings that you need to help with, or hours when the internet is slower because everyone in the house is on it. Speaking of schedules, a schedule will be more helpful in managing distractions than a to-do list is, although both are very important. It may feel like work can get done at any time, so you don't need a schedule, but this makes it a lot easier to get behind. Making a schedule will help you manage distractions and stay motivated. Figure out when you'll be able to focus best. Take into consideration your own habits that you already have and that work for you, and the movement and noise of the people you live with. Some other things to remember to include in your schedule or routine. Breaks. Meals offer a natural opportunity for these. You can treat your schedule like a work week and not work on the weekends, or you can spread them out. Make sure to shower and dress to be online, whatever that means for you. It may help you stay focused if it feels a little more like you're really attending class, and again, establishing some normalcy. Check the syllabus regularly. Since we're not interacting with friends and classmates the same way, we don't really get the "oh, hey, did you start studying for that test next week?" type of reminder we might be used to. Checking your syllabus regularly is also a good way to build some structure into your routine. Along the same lines, with so much time on the computer already, it can either be really easy to get distracted by emails or ignore them completely, neither of which is a good option. You need to find it in between. Set a time each day to review emails. Maybe it's twice a day. But the rest of the time, avoid your email and focus on your class, schoolwork, or just taking a break from screens. This allows you to focus on processing the important information in email, build structure into your day, and eliminate a distraction that email can become during the time that you're working on other things. Another thing to include in your routine is time to take care of yourself. Getting ready daily fits into this, but also making time to do something you enjoy. And make sure you're taking any medication or supplements daily to keep you feeling your best. This may be a good way to add structure to your routine or schedule as well. Here are some other tips for creating your schedule and following a routine. Anticipate the distractions, whether it's younger siblings, unreliable internet, or loud neighbors. If you can anticipate some of those times, you can organize to have break time or some other kind of productive use of that time so that you're using every hour very efficiently and lowering your frustrations. Make sure to take breaks. Use a timer to set a time that you'll return to work. You can use a timer on your phone or your oven, doesn't matter, but making sure that breaks or even study sessions don't last longer than they should is going to help you keep on schedule and use your time efficiently. Try to move around a little to relieve stress. If you can't go outside to do some kind of activity, can you at least stretch indoors? You can find videos online if you're not sure what stretches to do, and yoga is another great idea because it also helps to relieve stress. There's a ton of videos on chair yoga and all sorts of things based on your abilities and your experience. Think about movement this way too. When you're on campus, you walk between classes. Keep that up. Do a lap around your house, walk to the mailbox, or to the end of the block. Don't just run in place. Changing your surroundings can be like hitting the refresh button and help you stay motivated and focused. Do this when you switch from one subject to another, just like you're walking from one class to your next. Put your schedule or your must-do items on paper. It doesn't have to be pretty, but you can use that as an opportunity to do some de-stressing if you want to make your schedule or your to-do list pretty. The point of creating a schedule is to make sure you set goals to get all of your work done and to remove the need to constantly make decisions about what work to do next. I suggest doing work at least 2 days before it's due, not just to make sure it's done on time, although that is a good reason, but with online learning, you have to anticipate even more technical issues than you did before. Having it done early or working towards that allows you flexibility for almost any issue. If you do have a technology issue or anything else that delays your work, make sure you communicate that with your faculty. Even if the issue resolves and you think you can get caught up, let your professor know what put you behind schedule and assure them that you think you can get it done, but just wanted to let them know in case that changes. Accountability and support. We always need accountability, whether it's keeping ourselves accountable or having someone else help. So, can you and your friends arrange virtual study hall, Microsoft Teams, which you all have access to, Zoom, FaceTime, or whatever it is, set up a time each day or each week, and take a couple minutes to catch up and have some digital human contact. Then buckle down and get to work. Do your reading, your problem sets, whatever. Treat it just like you would meet in the library to study. By setting a time to meet, you'll create a sense of obligation for yourself to sit down and work because you won't want to let your friends down by not showing up. Switch days being study hall monitor. Assign someone to keep yourselves on track and not distract each other. As part of your schedule, block in time to meet your friends on gaming or social networking platforms for non-work related socializing too. Share your schedule with others in your household. This helps you in 2 ways. 1, it builds accountability and makes others aware so that they can limit distractions if possible. 2, it also might help catch conflicts before they become a problem. For instance, maybe you're planning to do your chemistry work from 2 to 3:30 tomorrow, but when you share that, you find out that your mom has to be on a work call at that time, so maybe you need to be available to log your younger siblings into their Google Classroom, or just in case they get rowdy and you need to quiet them down during your mom's work call. So maybe you can plan to do something that takes a little less focus during that time, like checking your email. Finally, use tutoring. It's still available in the online platform. Tutoring is always a great way to structure your study time and stay accountable. And now, more than ever, it's a good way to stay connected with other students experiencing some of the same challenges as you. We rely on technology almost entirely now, so it's even more important to find ways to reduce distractions and use that technology to our advantage. To reduce distractions from technology, turn your phone off or put it in another room. Turn it on Do Not Disturb. Put it on airplane mode. Any of these options is a good one, but pick what works best for you. Keep browser tabs on your computer at a minimum. Not being able to find the document or website you thought you had up can be really frustrating, and frustration is a very common source of distraction. Don't open any other browser windows or tabs except the ones you need when your class is streaming. And if you can be in a room alone, do that and keep the door closed to minimize distractions. Here are some apps that OAS student workers and tutors recommend. Stay Focused allows you to block specific apps or the whole phone for a certain amount of time. App Block, again, allows you to block specific apps or the whole phone for time and days so that you can plan a little bit more. Planty lets you grow fruit trees while you get work done, but stops growing if you move apps. It tracks your progress. Forest is similar to Planty, but you earn coins that go to planting real trees. Block Distracting Websites lets you control settings to block different apps and websites for a certain amount of time. Here are a few more tips. Frustration is going to happen. Things aren't always going to go as planned. Someone else in your house is going to be making noise when you want quiet. The internet is going to be slow when you're trying to stream the video your professor posted or during live Zoom class. Have a backup plan. Have a list of things you can do when things aren't going as planned. Things you can do with more distractions or with slower or no internet. You may still get frustrated, but having that prepped will make it a little easier to change course. If you want to listen to music while you're studying or working, you want to make sure that you pick the right music. This might be helpful even if you're not normally someone who listens to music when you're studying. Focusing music is essentially non-distracting background music and doesn't have lyric. This may not work for everyone, but it does work for most. Whether it's to help avoid complete silence because that's distracting to you, or to cover up distracting background noise from others, you can also listen to alpha wave music designed for staying concentrated and increasing brain power, or you can listen to other kinds. Consider sharing Pandora stations or Spotify playlists with your friends. Try the alpha wave music, cinematic background music, instrumental pop music, or other instrumental music. There's even white noise recordings to help it keep the sound more neutral. Find what works for you. It's different for everyone and may vary from subject to subject or even task to task. Also remember when you get frustrated to take a deep breath. Try square breathing. Square breathing is when you breathe in for 3 or 4 seconds, you hold it for 3 or 4 seconds, and then you breathe out for 3 or 4 seconds. You hold it for 3 or 4 seconds, and repeat. Here are some important takeaways for reducing and managing distractions. Even if you don't have your own physical space, you can find ways to organize and control it so that it doesn't work against you and your focus. Having a routine and schedule helps remove constant decision-making and helps you plan around things you know will cause distractions so that you can be more efficient and proactive. Accountability with friends or family helps minimize the chances that someone will disturb you when you're working and encourages you to use that time because you know someone else is counting on you to study with them or someone else knows you're planning to get things done during that time. Finally, use technology to your advantage, but be aware of the ways that we get distracted by it. If you would like to go into more detail, please visit the Office of Academic Skills webpage and make an appointment with an academic skills tutor.